In this video we're having a closer look at the Black Series General Grievous from Hasbro. Hey there Star Wars collectors, welcome to another Bosk's Bounty video, and in this video we do have the General Grievous 6-inch action figure as part of the Black Series. Now this is the figure that I've been waiting for what seems like a long time. It was actually revealed last year at New York Comic Con, I believe, and yeah, we finally have it here. So let's have a quick look at the packaging itself. So there he is, General Grievous, looking pretty smart. Got some nice artwork there on the front of the box. And this box has D1 on the side, so this is part of their Deluxe wave. Now I believe what they're trying to do is that these slightly larger figures, they're coming in bigger boxes, and they're starting to put them as these Deluxe figures. Now obviously the Gamorrean Guard and the Moloch figure, I think those were both exclusive, so they didn't actually have a number on the side. But this one being the first large figure that is not an exclusive, they've actually got it as D1. So hopefully we'll get some more bigger figures in the future. I'm not sure if there's any difference in the actual figure in terms of the Black Series figures, whether, you know, it being a Deluxe figure, it's actually going to be, you know, slightly more detailed than the others. I doubt it because, you know, the Black Series figures are pretty good as they are. There we go, we can pretty much fit Grievous on the side of the box there, General Grievous. Back of the box, we have the Disney and Hasbro logo legal gump that nobody cares about, and a larger image of General Grievous, which is the same one from the front of the box. And again, there you have the D1. We have some information about General Grievous there, which I'll place on the camera. You can pause the video now and read that at your leisure. Okay, so before I get General Grievous out of his box, if you like this video, please drop a like down below. It really does help the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, hit the notifications bell, and you'll be made aware of any future videos. And with all that being said, let's open the box and get Grievous out. Okay, so here's the figure itself, and we'll start off with the face head sculpt. And as you can see, that they have done a really good job on the face. The detail is really good, especially on the eyes there. You can really see the yellow tint to his eyes and all that bloodshot goodness going on. Some nice weathering and cuts and scrapes and stuff going on the skull as well, which is pretty good. I'm just going to zoom out now so you can see how his lightsabers, etc., all fit into his hands. And I'll go over the articulation in a second. Now, one thing I would say about the figure straight off, he is quite, you know, obviously he's a skeleton type figure, so he's quite spindly and some of the joints feel a bit loose. So I've got a feeling he might struggle to stand up somewhat. But in terms of the look, they've got the sculpt absolutely nailed. He looks really good. He's so big it's hard to keep him in the camera shot for you so you can have a good look. Now, the only complaint that I do have, and I've heard a lot of people say this, is the cape. So the cape obviously isn't correct. It should be actually sat underneath this collarbone here. I'm just going to take the cape off so you can see some of the more detail, especially around his neck. So if you look at the detail around his neck there, all those wires and everything going on, which is really nice. The chest plate doesn't open properly, so you can reenact the movie where he gets shot in the sort of heart area. But it is a softer plastic, so you can sort of manipulate it slightly, but there is nothing under there that you can see. If we turn him around, so he's got all those cool plates going on. And you can see the back of his legs. A little bit disappointing there's not much weathering actually on the back of him. You can see a few little indents where they've tried to create some sort of cracks and scrapes and stuff like that. But obviously the front of him has the most of the weathering of the actual paintwork itself. So we've got a bit there on the collarbone and a bit on the breastplate. Got some nice silver details going on down the legs. And again, some nice weathering on his knee pads. And there's his like skeletal type feet. So the figure does come with 5 accessories, or 6 accessories if you can include the cape. He comes with 4 lightsabers and a blaster, and the cape of course. And the really good thing about the lightsabers, if I show you one here, is that the blade does remove from the hilt. Now I'm not sure if these hilts are new sculpts or if they've been taken from previous figures, so if you can let me know in the comments what you think about that. So there's the first one with the blue lightsaber. We have another one here for one of the yellow lightsabers. Another one there for the other blue lightsaber. I've got to say, they're really well painted, these lightsaber hilts. They're really nice. Lots of detail. You've got all the red buttons, the gold tips, etc. Really good. So yeah, let me know if these are new sculpts especially for General Grievous, or if they've been stolen from previous figures that we've got before in the Black Series. So the cape itself is a lovely soft goods material. It's obviously the one colour grey on the outside, and on the inside it's that lovely red colour. It's got the pockets for the lightsaber hilts that he shows off in the movie, which is really nice. You can put those in there. That just looks fantastic. And then if we put it back over his head, so it just goes over his head like that. And yeah, that's the disappointing thing about it, is that this doesn't really sit properly. So it just goes over his head like that, whereas really it should be under this whole piece here, this whole sort of collarbone here. Now, I have seen people use a hairdryer to manipulate this piece, to lift it up and actually get the cape underneath. I probably wouldn't advise on that unless you know what you're doing, but I have actually seen it done and it did look pretty good. Now, the articulation on this figure is pretty unbelievable, really. So we've got movement on his neck joint there and the head. So the head can move full range and with the neck, which is really, really nice. Obviously, the arms work in a strange way because we've got two arms on each socket. So they are actually on separate little joints there. And the arms separate using these little pegs here. So you've got that peg there, which slots in to keep it together on the shoulder area. And again, there's one down further down. And also you have this little peg here which attaches the hands. So if I just get that all together like so, he ends up having one arm, which obviously then splits into two. So that's pretty awesome. He does have elbow joints and wrist joints which spin as well, so loads of articulation on there. We have articulation on the lower torso here, which moves around. So that moves around nice and freely, except for you've just got to be a bit careful with these plates on the back. They can get caught on these little lips of plastic here. So when you're moving him around, they can just get in the way slightly. But apart from that, that's good movement there. Obviously, he's got hinges on his legs and on his knees, double knee joints. And we have plenty of articulation on his ankle. And obviously his feet move 360. And they've got a hinge in there as well. So plenty of articulation, as you'd expect with a Black Series figure. And yeah, this is General Grievous. We have been waiting for him for quite a long time. I'm sorry I'm not going into too much detail with him, but he is quite fiddly. I can't really get him to stand up, which is probably the only sort of negative that I would say I would have with him at the moment. But I'd imagine if you get the weight ratio right with the lightsabers and everything in his hands, and get his knees bent correctly, then you'll be fine. The last thing to look at is the blaster. So a really nice blaster there. It's a sort of gunmetal grey blaster, and it's been finished with sort of like a shiny metallic polish, which looks really, really nice. I'm really pleased with the way that's come out. So again, a great new figure for the collection. We've all been waiting for General Grievous. Just a shame about the cape. But apart from that, a sterling effort on Hasbro's part. Alright then guys, thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you like this figure in the comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and we shall see you on the next one.